Hi, I'm Meg. I'm the editor here at Seamwork, and I'm going to show you around my sewing space. I'm lucky enough to have a room in my house that I can use as an office for work and a sewing space. I actually started sewing at my kitchen table, and I sewed at my kitchen table for about 6 years, so I recognize how lucky I am to have this dedicated space with a door that I can close when I'm sewing. I'm excited to show you around, so let's take a look. So I sew at my desk. I use a yoga ball when I'm working, and I also just use that when I'm sewing. I don't know if that's safe or ergonomic when you're sewing, but it is really fun. So when I'm sewing, I use my desk also as storage. Rather than keep it full of boring office supplies, I have my scissors, all my cutting materials, my rulers, washi tape, all my pattern weights, all my fun things. Got some labels from Kylie and the Machine. Highly recommend those. And this drawer is just full of things that I use pretty frequently, not all of the time, but I want them to be at quick access. This is where I store my digital patterns. I prefer to print wide format when I can at a copy shop rather than printing at home and assembling. Then I can store them rolled up and just toss them in a laundry bin. It's not super organized, but it's something that works for me. I also keep a bag to store all my works in progress. So these will be the patterns and projects that I'm working on right now, and I just make sure that it has a zipper to keep pets and children out of it. This is a bookshelf where I keep a lot of my supplies. I have boxes that hold miscellaneous vintage patterns and assorted PDF patterns at the bottom. I have my books and my serger that I can grab really quickly when I need it. And then up top, I like to keep things looking cute. I like some fun supplies on display, but they're also supplies that I use quite frequently. So I have all of my pins that I use. I actually prefer to use Wonder Clips rather than pins. So I have a little jar of those available at all times. And then I have just some cute decorative jars that I've collected over the years that I use to store, little buttons and fun notions that I like to look at when I need to get inspired. I used to make jewelry, and I stored a lot of my supplies in this cute tiffin, and so I've repurposed that now for sewing materials. So in this space, it's welcoming, it's inspiring to me, it's organized, it's nice, but I have everything that I can just grab whenever I need it. And finally, we have the best part of any sewing space, the fabric. I have an IKEA Expedit, whatever the new name is for Expedit shelf, where I store my fabric. I don't have a really awesome system. I've kind of got kids' clothes over here. I've got my soft fabrics here, knits, fun prints. These are kind of the things I wear all of the time. And then I have stripes. I collect a lot of stripes. I don't sew with them as much as I want to, but I love to look at them, so I have them all in one box here. Other than that, I use the baskets just to store things in a very haphazard way. I have my iron in here and my press cloth. For example, I have all my interfacing in here in elastic. But everything is pretty grabbable. I know where it is. There's not a system, but I can find anything that I want at any time. But most importantly, it's there for me to look at, get inspired, start daydreaming whenever I walk into the room. My favorite thing about my space is that I have all of my sewing supplies on display. That's just kind of who I am as a person. When I can look at my fabric and my books and my thread and my notions, it keeps me inspired. It keeps me engaged with my hobbies. That's kind of how I am just in my home. And so I've chosen to have most of my supplies stored out in the open, and I've kind of tried to just incorporate them into my living space. That's what makes me happy, that's what keeps me sewing, and that's really the most important part about your space, is creating an atmosphere that makes you feel really excited. If I were to change one thing about my space, it would probably be the lighting. I have an overhead light and I have a couple windows, but they're pretty high, so they don't shine a lot of light onto my sewing area. So in the future, I might look into some portable lights, maybe a desk lamp, or at least just another lamp to put in the area to kind of give me a little bit more light to work by. That's my sewing room. I hope you enjoyed seeing it. I enjoyed having you. I'm looking forward to seeing some of my other teammates share their spaces, but I'd also really love to see your sewing space. So if you want to leave a comment, snap a picture and share it with us on Instagram or on the community, I would love to see where you do your sewing. See you next time. Happy sewing.